Hey guys, it is Tuesday. Out on the e-bike, I'm heading east. I'm gonna go meet up with Adam and Don. And yeah, biking through Allen Gardens here. Seems pretty nice. People online always seem afraid of Allen Gardens now, since there was a lot of homeless people here, but I don't know. Not as many people there. You know, not that the city solved homelessness or anything, they just moved them on, but it's not as sketchy as it was during the pandemic. Anyways, I was gonna meet up with Adam and Don at the Loblaws down on Lakeshore, but there was, they've got Bento with them and he's kind of freaking out. It's been a while since they've had them in the bike trailer. Apparently when they were passing Gerard, I think, the streetcar scared him. You know, he's a bit of a scaredy dog when it comes to big vehicles, like streetcars and trains. Which is kind of unfortunate, but when I was around, he seemed relatively calm. Not trying to jump out of the trailer too much. Apparently he freaked out like a lot when they put down the screen, so they're trying to leave it open for him. And yeah, we did stop at Loblaws. I guess I didn't film any of that, but now we're riding along Commissioner Street, which unfortunately doesn't have bike lanes until you get to Carlaw. So we were on the sidewalk for a bit there. But yeah, we're on our way to check out the new park on Oakway Menacing Island. Yeah, so if you're unfamiliar with the redevelopment, the Don River used to flow south and then make this 90-degree bend that was pretty unnatural, and it kind of would flood the area in like heavy rain events. So they've dug up this new river channel, and that's supposed to help with the flooding, as well as they've dedicated a lot of space to be a park. So we're gonna check out that new park, which is called Biidaasige Park on Oakway Menacing Island. I might say that wrong a couple times. But yeah, we're in the bottom right of the screen right now. This is drone footage from like the spring before everything was green. But this whole area up here, new housing coming in, which this is kind of an industrial area, so you know, that's classic city. It's growing. Yeah, there's some debate about how dense it should be. They're planning on having 100,000 new residents. Some people are advocating for taller buildings to have more people, but there's going to be weight limits because it is a floodplain still. So the risk of your building sinking into the ground is like pretty real. But yeah, we're hanging out in the grill area. We ate some food. That was nice. Yeah, even Bento ate like some nice dog food. Hopefully helped him feel rewarded after his bike ride. But yeah, along here is where there's going to be a streetcar eventually. It's nice that they've dedicated the space for it right off the bat, instead of not, I guess. But right now there's some nice playgrounds and a dog park over here. There was a big dog in there, so we didn't go in. Hopefully they'll update the signs, because there are 2 dog parks. They should have a big dog and a small dog. And over here, this is Fire Hall 30. This is what it used to look like, right on the edge of Commissioner Street. Since they wanted to widen Commissioner Street and add in the streetcar lanes, they decided to move the Fire Hall 30 like 80 feet south. Since it's like a heritage building. It stopped being a fire hall in the 80s, I think. But it was a fire hall, like firemen used it until like 2015. And then it's just been like some businesses in there since. But yeah, kinda neat. I guess they just put it on a track and moved it. And they raised it up a bit. I think Commissioner Street needed to be raised about 1 meter. So that's like part of all the construction going on in there. And they're gonna renovate it partially to have about 6 bathrooms, so that's nice. Just west of there is a big owl. This looks pretty fun. We didn't go inside, but it's looks neat. You can go up into the head. Doesn't really look like the concept images yet, but hopefully the trees grow in here. And yeah, right next to that is like a water park. There's a ton of like little pumps and stuff that you can use. And that'll spray out some water. All around I'm seeing other kids like turning cranks and stuff. And the water flows down into like these little dammed up areas where you can build dams. It kind of reminds me of the Kettleham Badlands area. Kind of wondering if that's what the ground there is inspired by. Maybe. But yeah. Continuing west, there's zip lines. That look pretty fun. There's lots of kids zipping around. And a working water fountain, yeah. When we got in, there was a water fountain, but it wasn't working yet. And this is the second dog park, and there was only a small dog in this one, so we went in and let Bento run around here. Yeah, he loved it. So for now, that is most of Biidaasige Park. Yeah, further west is Cherry Street. That's the new Cherry Street South Bridge there. Eventually there's going to be more park. If you go underneath the bridge, you'll see the crane there and Canoe Cove. That'll be cool to check out. It's actually a pretty big section of the park that's going to be opening up next year. And yeah, it looks like they're building like a big hill here. It'll be like a nice lookout that you'll be able to see the downtown skyline. As well as some more little coves and stuff. Should be good for the birds. So, I'm just happy to see that a lot of this is just gonna keep being park. It's gonna be a pretty high demand neighborhood once they actually start building housing around here. At least I would imagine. Like, who wouldn't want to live next to this this nice park? So, we started heading back to the east, and yeah, I'm taking note of little spots like this where if you had a small canoe or kayak, you could come here to launch your boat and paddle around. It's great that they have that kind of activity in mind, because if you wanted to go up the Don River, I think before the closest like easy launch point was Cherry Beach, which is like 2 kilometers away, and you'd have to like be in the water with a bunch of big boats. So yeah, this will be nice. And there's some kids jumping off of this pedestrian bridge into the river. That's probably fun for them. Here's a dedicated fishing spot and another boat launch if you want to launch your boat here. That's nice. This path just connected back up with the fire hall, so we turned back around and went over the bridge where those kids were jumping off. I talked to one of them and he said that he's jumped off of it a bunch of times already, and he hasn't touched the bottom when he jumps off. He even said that he jumped off of Cherry Street South, that bridge, which seems pretty high up from the water. Like, I don't know, kid. Go for it, I guess. But yeah, some nice little ducklings already here. It's nice to see how much the park has already grown. I think they started planting like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So it's just cool to see how established all the plants are already. Especially the wetland plants. Yeah, the swans here. Kind of a shame that they're right next to the fishing spot. But that's birds, you know. Build your nest where you want, I guess. So it looks like there's more walking trails on the other side of this water. I think this is the main Don River, another fishing boat launch area. if you want to use it. You know, it's also kind of nice that there's many dedicated fishing spots. Since, you know, no offense fishermen, but it's kind of annoying when they're just like stomping on everything. Yeah, they have their dedicated zones. Oh yeah, and these bat boxes. That's exciting to see. Some good habitat for bats, hopefully. I mean, not gonna see any bats right now, but who knows, maybe they're in there. So yeah. Had a pretty good walk along over here. I do think there's gonna be more new housing coming in just to the east side of the Don River here. So, who knows what that'll be like. And yeah, you can go down onto that path, which we didn't today. The sun is kind of getting to us. It's one of the major problems with the park right now. Eventually the trees will grow in and stuff, but as it is now on a sunny day, it's kind of brutal. Yeah. So Tyler came on a bike share bike, which he already docked. He's gonna ride Don's bike home, and Don is gonna take an Uber. Yeah, they didn't want to have Bento in the trailer again, since he seemed to be a little bit freaked out on the ride down. He might have been like doing excited whimpering, like who knows. But a little bit, I don't know, they just want to do the safer option, which makes sense. So yeah, that was pretty cool to check out the new park. So we make our way along the lakeshore trail here. This is pretty nice. Hopefully the construction stuff will get more sorted out. Because it used to be a nice way to go to Woodbine Beach along that trail. But it's partially closed near the Don River. Yeah. Anyways, back at Adam and Don's house. Bento seems pretty chill. He apparently slept on the car ride over. And yeah, we actually stopped at Freshco. I guess I cut it from the video or just didn't record our stop, but picked up some stuff for burgers. And Don grilled us up some burgers. Yeah. Bento hanging out with Tyler. Nice. They were great burgers. Also grilled vegetables with halloumi. Very nice. Tyler wanted to head home. And yeah, we ate some ice cream and played more Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yeah. Mid-Bonanza time. We did take Bento out for a almost nighttime walk. Even though he's already had a big adventure. Just a good thing to, you know, walk a dog. He seems to like it. We kind of forced ourselves to stay awake for the end of Bonanza. And we did finish it. Pretty good game. It seems like there's some good post-game content. So you'll have a reason to go back after finishing it. That's pretty cool. Love it when games do that. Anyways, it's a bit after midnight now, and I'm heading home. All in all, pretty good day. You guys know how it is. I guess I didn't really find anything interesting on my way home. I did take kind of a detour around some of the neighborhoods. Oh yeah, inside the trash bin that the neighbors are using. Nothing good.